Yeah.
Mike, game 82.
Yes, sir.
Just what's the feeling? You got through another season here, and just how are you guys feeling heading into the final of the year?
I tell you, you talk about a great opportunity in front of us. You know, we don't control our destiny as much, but still we do, so that, to a certain degree. So to be able to play a meaningful game at this point in the year for our group is a great opportunity, and one that I think everybody in our group is excited about. And it's going to help our growth at the end of the day tremendously.
Next question.
That's it?
I'll ask.
Okay.
Do you have any update on Malik? Do we have any, if you guys do make it through today and you do make it through the play-in, what does it look like? Is he far out, or is there a possibility that he might be able to make a return here?
I don't try not to follow it too much, James, because I don't want to emotionally, you're like, okay, you didn't come down. Yeah, so I just let the medical group handle that. And I tell you what, obviously we wish we would have had more wins, but we always talk about next man up mindset or attitude, and we've gotten a lot of contributions from guys at different times that may not have gotten an opportunity if Kevin were out or Malik weren't out. So I'm proud of the guys that have gotten an opportunity and tried to make the most of it while growing at the same time. But again, I'm not sure when Malik.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Coach Brown, if you don't mind me going back to the last game.
Yeah, for sure.
Seemed like you had playoff play-in implications written all over it as far as the game, because you only use 8 players. I know tonight, this afternoon might be a little different though, but just what are your thought process with that? Because Phoenix Suns, Frank Vogel, he only played 8 players too. I think Royce O'Neal, Gordon, and Eubanks got off the bench. But it just seemed like that's what's going to be happening, going forward, depending on what the outcomes are later on. But what was your thought process, in that last game? You just going with 8-man rotation.
You going into the game, we talked about it, and we talked about because it was a back-to-back and a lot of games in a short amount of time. That we were going to try to stick to these 8 guys, knowing that if somebody looked tired or somebody got into foul trouble, we would go to 9, and it is exactly what you said. For us, it was a must-win game, like all these games were, but it was a game that we still, again, had a little bit more control of our destiny at that point in time, if we got it, than some of the previous games, because there were still a lot of games left. And so it was just a game that we start with me, decided to go after, and that's why I kept it to 8. But we had a plan to throw somebody else out there if we felt guys were tired or in foul trouble, for sure.
Mike, going back to Malik, kind of 2 facets of that. Number one, he's very visible, very vocal. He's, almost seems like an assistant coach out there with you guys. What if you could talk a little bit about just his kind of his influence or whatever, having him present, and then 2, how it's changed how you guys play, more threes, less points in the paint, all of that. How much of an adjustment has that been, and how do you kind of work through those things?
So the first question, Malik is one of the most charismatic guys I've been around. It's infectious, really, really great human being, and his charisma makes you want to be around him. Having said that, he's not afraid to be vocal, and in our business you want that, and so with his charisma and how vocal he is, you want that presence around as much as possible, and to his credit, he's been there. He's comes to our film sessions, comes to practices. Obviously, he's active on the bench, and we encourage that because we don't have a lot of guys, obviously, that are as vocal as he is, and that's why he may not be a quote-unquote captain, but he is one of our leaders in that regard, because he's not afraid to speak up, and he obviously will speak up, and he has the respect of everybody on the team and the coaching staff. And then, if I remember the other part of your question, no, he was a reason why, he was part of the reason why, our points in the paint were whatever they were, because he's more than capable of getting in the paint and finishing, especially in the pick and roll situation, putting pressure on the defense, going downhill. And then also, feeding Domas the pocket pass. Those guys playing 2-man games, so now Domas is finishing in the paint with some momentum, and it's because the big pulls over so much to stop Malik from going downhill. Now when that pocket pass is delivered, the big is trying to get back to Domas at an angle, and Domas does a great job of putting the back shoulder into him. So those two areas, in terms of us going in the paint, have gone down tremendously, because the reality of it is there's not really another player like Malik on our team. And to a certain degree, Kevin was similar. Kevin, he was able to get downhill and play the pocket game or 2-man game with Domas. And also, Kevin got to a point where he was capable of hitting that little push shot or a little pull up in the paint. And so, talking about missing two guys, there were, you could say both of them were to a certain degree starters, even though Malik never was out there at the 12-minute mark of the first quarter. He finished a lot of games for us down the stretch. So missing that is definitely going to hurt the area where it comes to points in the paint. And we got to keep trying to do it by committee. We have to attack the paint, and if we're capable of finishing, go ahead and finish. If you're capable of finding Domas in the pocket, go ahead and do it. But if not, and you draw bodies, you got to spray it. And on the spray, if you're open, you got to let it fly. I'm going to always give my guys confidence. I'm going to never tell them to turn down an open shot because it's hard to get open shots in our business. But then if you get closed out hard, it's a snap drive to doing it all over again. And the more times you can touch the paint in the possession, the more times you can reverse the ball in the possession, that's the better shot you're going to get, because you're just moving the defense around, and that ball usually moves faster than the human feet. So it's going to have to be kind of done by committee when you don't have those two guys in the lineup.
And like, unique day, not just with the 12:30 tip, but every single team playing at the exact same time. Obviously, you have your own game to focus on, but I'm curious, is there temptation to keep an eye on, whether it's at halftime or during breaks or whatever, or pay attention to other games that have implications on your play-in standing, or is it just full focus on today and see what the results are when you get back to the locker room?
No, we gotta have full focus on today, and now we're human, and at the end of the day, you're gonna hope and pray that the basketball guys make these other outcomes go in your favor. But we have to be locked in on our game, because if we lose, then it's completely out of our hands. We don't even have a choice. So to spend, obviously to spend energy on the other stuff isn't going to do us any good. So hopefully all of our energy can be focused on beating Portland today, or this morning, or this afternoon. Thank you guys.
It's all of the above.
Oh, yeah.